friends, so today I'm going to show you how I made this milk crate with cartons, and this is for a swap. We could choose whatever theme we want, and I went with the bee theme. So I'm going to show you how to make this, so let's get into it. Okay, so the paper I'm going to use the Honey Blossoms paper pack from DCWV that I got at Joann's. So I just kind of randomly went through and chose out 6 different patterns that I wanted to use because there will be 6 milk cartons. So these are the ones I chose. I also have 3 sheets of this kind of like embossed polka dot yellow that I got at Joann's as well. And this will be for the crate, not the container cartons, but the crate. So I'm gonna start on the crate first. So that's what we'll start with. So I did a mock-up first with the measurements that were in the video, but they were kind of hard to tell and I couldn't quite catch what she was saying. So you're gonna need 2 pieces of paper, cardstock, I shouldn't say paper, 2 pieces of cardstock that are 7 3/4 by 11. So this is 7 3/4 by 11. Sorry, why did I do that? By 11. And you're going to score this at 2.5. Score line. And this is what you should get. Now this paper is, let's see, for the base you're going to need 10.5 by 7 7/8. And this should fit, when you score it, should fit in here like this. You'll have 2 of them and your cartons will fit in like this or like so. But what I wanted to do, and in the video she cut the corners off and used a die cut to cut the handle hole, but I don't have a die cut machine that is this wide. So what I did is I made an SVG file on my Cricut, and I'll share that along because I wanted it kind of beehive shape. So what I did is I just searched for a beehive silhouette and I added an oval for the handle, sliced them, molded them together, did all that, and this is what I got. So it's a little bit shorter, not much, but it has a beehive shape. So I'm going to be doing it like this. And this is what my crate will look like with the cartons in it. So let's get started with that. So I already have 2 of these cut out. Where did I put those? All right, so I already have 2 of these cut out, and I'm gonna score these at 2.5. Where did I put my score tool? Sorry, my desk is a mess. So I'm gonna take this, score it at 2.5. Sorry, I'm gonna flip one over. So I'm gonna have 2 of them like this. And I'm going to stick those together, not this side. So I'm gonna glue everything together except for the flaps that I scored. So let's fold over those scores. Well, I guess I want the scores on the same way. I guess it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna glue these together, but not the flaps. Or I'll do that in a second. I'm gonna cut my base piece first, so we'll do that. So I want to take another piece of the yellow, and this one is going to be 10.5 by 7 7/8. we are gonna take our scoreboard and we are gonna score these at 1 3/8 on all sides. And I'm just gonna kind of take and really fold over all those lines. Okay, so now that we have that, we're gonna cut 1 1/4 one line on each side. So actually, I think you want them kind of, let's see, I guess it's not really gonna matter. So we're just gonna take our scissors and cut this line. And if they're not perfect, I think it's fine as long as they're cut all the way down to the fold. And what we'll be doing is we'll be adding glue to each one of those sides and kind of, you know, folding it up like this. We're gonna let that set aside to dry. And I think before I glue these together, I'm gonna do a little bit of distressing. I'm gonna use the Tim Holtz and the, what is this called? Fossilized Amber. I'm just gonna take my little brush. I'm just gonna kind of brush the edges and just kind of give them a little bit more of a color. So I'm taking my 6 sheets of paper. Again, you can do whatever patterns we want, whatever colors you want. You can do it all the same. You can make them different. This is just kind of what I'm doing. So I'm going to take my 6 sheets, and they need to be 10.5 by 8 1/4. So they're going to look like this. I also want to mention, when you're cutting your paper, you want the pattern to be facing up. So you want the pattern along the long side, the 10.5 inch side. And so it's not going to fit in my paper like this, so I need to cut off this top a little bit. So when I cut my 10.5, I want my pattern facing up like this. And then this side will be my 8 1/4. Like that. Okay, so now that you have all your paper cut, we're gonna get into scoring, and I'm just gonna do mine on a mock-up sheet first so that you can see how it's gonna lay on your pattern. So the lengthwise, we are gonna score at 2.5, 5, 7.5, and 10. I'm going to turn it widthwise, and we are going to score at 2.5, 5, 6 and 7 3/4. So your paper is going to look like this. Get my score board out of the way. And this top right here is going to be the top of the milk carton, as you can see kind of right here. So let's do our cutting, and then I will kind of show you how to kind of lay it on your paper so you can see how you want to score your pattern paper. But it's completely up to you. You can just go in blindly and see what happens. You can do non-directional paper and it's not going to matter. But this is kind of how I'm doing it. I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I like things to be, you know, as even as possible. So I'm going to fold all of my score lines. Like so. I'm going to take my scissors. So I want to lay, we're going to start on the side, and this side. So we're going to cut off this little tab, and I try to go on the inside of the score lines just because I feel like it fits a little better. And I like to notch this because this is going to be a glue flap, so you're not going to have any overhang in the corner, which could cause bulk. And I'm also going to cut through this little square and into this one as well. Just like so. So you're going to have this little tab right here. Now along the bottom, you're gonna cut along all of your score lines up to the first score line. And this is going to create the bottom of your crate, like so. So for the top, we're going to cut through all of the score lines as well. And you're going to cut through the small one and the large one. Okay, so with it laid out like this, you want to, this first one and this third one, you're going to want to remove this top piece. And this is the top. So this is how you have it. So when you fold it, this tab's going to fold on the inside because you're going to be gluing that. You're going to glue that like so. You're going to fold in your bottom. These two flaps will be folded in. And you'll have your milk carton like so. So I'm not gonna glue anything together because I just have a couple directional pieces of paper that I want to make sure that I'm laying down and correctly doing the scores, because I don't want it messed up. So the only one I'm really worried about is this B one, because I want the B's facing up. I don't want them facing down. So I need to make sure that when I'm scoring, I'm actually going to score this backwards, so upside down. I mean, you could flip the scores around and do it that way, but the way I have, like, I just kind of am following the tutorial. So I'm going to lay my pattern, or like my directional pattern, like this, upside down on the scoreboard, length width first. I'm going to score at 2.5, 5, 7.5, Oh, that doesn't seem right. No, it does. Okay. And 10. And then I'm going to flip it lengthwise. And we're going to score at 2.5, 6. Oops. Let's skip there. Oh, why is it skipping like that? Some of this paper is just slick. So you can see that my score skipped, but I don't think that's going to be that noticeable. So I scored at 6, and then I have to score again at 7 3/4. So it should be like this. Hopefully you can kind of see the score marks, but when I fold it, you will be able to. So this is going to be the top. Fold it this way. Like so. So you can already see like the shape forming. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut it like I did my mock-up. And there you have your little milk crate. Now, before I glue this together, I'm going to decide if I want to do any kind of like window or anything like that. So be cognizant of that. So if you wanted to do a window or anything like that, you're going to want to cut your shape, put anything down on the inside that you wanted. If you happen to have paper that's blank on the inside and you wanted to do like a pattern on the inside, you could stamp it. You could do another thin piece of cardstock or craft paper and glue it in here, so and then fold it up and cut it. It's kind of up to you how you want to do that, but for now I'm going to go ahead and just score and cut all my papers. Okay, so like I said before, you might not want to put them together yet before you decorate. There's some things that are going to be easier to decorate while it's still flat. Like you can see here, I wanted to do this strip and it was easier to glue on while it's still flat. I did this one and I had already glued it together and I added these, but again, it didn't have to lay flat for this. I was able to just glue them on like so. So you're gonna have to, I guess, think about your design first before you go ahead and put them together, just so it's not gonna be in the way. So I'm gonna show you how to go ahead and glue it together. So first off, you know, do all your scoring. You're gonna wanna glue this flap first. Oh, this glue doesn't wanna come out. We'll use this one. Oh. And you can, if it makes it easier, you can kind of go like that and glue it down. Oops. And hold it while it's drying. Okay, so now that that's dry, so you want the seam in the back. So this side is going to be my front. So this flap you want to glue down last. So what I tend to do is glue down the back first, the two sides, then the front. Do that. Like so. I flip it upside down and I just have this little like spatula thing and I just kind of go back and forth on the inside and make sure that that glue is distributed and it's stuck down real good. And sometimes I'll just I'll put this glue bottle on the inside and just let it dry like that, where it has a little bit of weight so that that inside stays still. Okay, so now that I showed you the process, I guess I'll show you the individual cartons that I've done. So on this side, I have the little shaker that I was working on, and I just did some embellishments. And I just kind of stuck the embellishments on just one side, and I did end up rounding my corners up here instead of leaving them straight. The only thing you have to be careful of is any embellishments that are down low, that they could like get squished from this. On this one I just have a bee. I did bring the pattern all the way around with the side paneling, but I just decorated at the front. Same way with this, I did wrap it. You got to be careful with some of your paper. Like this paper is a very stiff paper, so I did have some distressing, but I kind of left it. I thought that it kind of went with it. On the other side, we have some drip that I did, and this is just a die cut that I got from Temu, and I added some glossy glaze on it. I can't think of what it's called right now. And a flower. I did alter my paper a little bit. I don't know if you can tell. So it was plain. On this one, I just colored in just random flowers. And on this one, I colored in the centers. And I added the glossy accent onto the centers. So I did alter the paper a little bit. I did add this. So that's that one. This one, I just have like a little vellum just kind of window. I don't think you can really see through it. I haven't filled them up yet. Well, I guess you can see a little bit, but not too much. And see how this is what the paper looked before. I did alter this paper a little bit too. I just took a glitter gel pen and colored in the flowers and the hearts. And on this one, I just did a little bit of distressing, added some side paneling and a sticker. So this was really fun. I really liked it. I did, and you don't have to do this, but I did choose double-sided paper so that when you opened it, you could see the pattern on the inside as well. I really liked that idea. So that's why I chose double-sided paper. Not all of it is bee themed on the other side, but I thought that just kind of gave it a nice touch. So as I was cutting the paper, I don't know if you noticed or not that it was double-sided paper. So now I just have to fill these up with whatever was on the list of, I think one was ephemera, one was rosettes, one was clothespins, which I haven't done any altered clothespins before, so that's a new little challenge for me. I think the other one was circle embellishments, and then a treat, and then I think that it was Sender's Choice. I'm not quite sure. I'll have to go back through, but so now that I have these decorated, I just have to fill them. And if you really want to see what I put inside of them, if you're interested, let me know and I'll do a video with that as well. Bye guys.